we're in the grand final, and two players who've known each other for a long time, been friends for a long time, who've been unstoppable this season meet. We have Leary, who won his group and then eventually won his semifinal 4-0. And then we've got Hera, who, the same deal. Turks for Hera, though. We talked before we loaded in. We haven't seen this before, so Hera likes this pick. This is a civilization that can not go for Elite Skirmisher and Pikeman. 2 units you need if you run out of gold, and there's a lot of gold on the sides, and if there was one thing I could critique Hera on, he has not been locking down the golds. In the last 2 rounds, anyways, when he plays Shoals.
I mean, I think the good thing about the Turks here, their disadvantages are all early, it feels like. So if Hera can just stabilize and get to the mid game or get to the late game, he should have a good chance. Like Turk Navy is pretty good, right? The extra range on the cannon galleons can be amazing on this map, I think. The bombard cannons obviously going to be incredible on this map. The gunpowder really, really solid against Dravidians. It's just whether you can get there and what your strategy is going to be to get you to that point in the game. Because I mean, Leary is a really, really good player, and he usually takes advantage of the advantages early to find those timings and just kill his opponent right away before they get there.
Yep, and it's probably what it's going to come down to. Now, one of the builds that you can go for, now there's variation. We'll see if they go for some water control here, as water is very important. But one of the keys, I think, for Hera in any type of game is controlling the map with land army. And so eventually what I'd really like from Hera, and this is kind of cheeky, he's actually run to the outside to push in a deer from there, knowing the other deer are safe underneath his tower for later. But I just want to see him go Lycav. Lycav and adapt, right? There's lots of relics on the map. You need vision and control over these gold areas. And we've seen before where if someone doesn't have their starting scout and they don't add any more, they just struggle so much because they don't know what's coming their way. So I think that's what that's one of the reasons why he likes the Turks, because that upgrade is free.
One other thing that the Turks struggle against is elephants. Now, Dravidians' battle elephant is not great. It's actually awful for them. But elephant archers at the end, if you have a good eco setup, it's really, really difficult, I think, for the Turks to counter that because they don't get elite skirm and they only have the bombard cannons, which are, you know, even if you get a good attack round, it's only hitting one elephant at a time. It's not stacking and spreading that damage.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. Not getting access to Halb or Elite Skirm is an issue against both types of elephants that can be made. Now, the downside with Dravidians and elephants and all the things we'll talk about is it's not as fast as the Turks. And so it can be awkward. If you're Leary, you're kind of a speedy player, but your units don't really match that. So I actually think one of the key things for Leary, not just in this game, but in this whole final, is walling, dude. Like, we don't see a lot of it, but just look at these gold areas on the sides and imagine someone builds a castle in the middle and then walls to that castle. And then you have the water control. You lock down that side fairly easily, but people aren't thinking about that. So I think a key to victory here today for Leary is to not play open, still play aggressive somehow, and it's hard to combine the two.
So if you're Leary, you're thinking, okay, I want water control, right? I think he's going to open galleys here because that's the standard approach with Dravidians, and then you try and take advantage of your fish. Are you thinking that Hera is also going to contest water, or are you worried about him going for a fast castle play? I think he will, but it's still got to be in your mind that he might just ignore whatever you're doing on water.
The good news is his build is so good that it doesn't really matter what his opponent's going to do, because with the bonuses of the Dravidians, if you go fast feudal, you're already you should be ahead. Because option A, Hera contests with you on water. You're probably faster to feudal age because of the early dark age flexibility. And then your docks give you more pop space. You're going to gladly drop more docks. Option B, if Hera goes fast castle, you can then add more fish. So there's really no downside to this opening from Leary, in my opinion, against the Turks. Maybe against some other civs, but it's just the worrying starts later, I think. Hera's okay with giving up a slight lead.
He's going past castle.
Hera's just going to believe that he can come back. And it's actually easier too. Like when you could just give up the water and focus on land, it's a lot easier to manage things. Because
Hera just pushed 3 deer
From the
over on
outside.
the right, by
Yeah,
the way. Yeah.
yeah.
And now he's going to start pushing these, and it's
Smart.
100% a fast castle approach for him.
Smart.
We'll see what the follow-up is. Maybe just extra TCs, maybe light cav. Like you said, we'll know based on what the second building he makes in Feudal Age is. As he clicks up now, he's going to be able to comfortably get there. And I think Leary knows, he's been tracking the score, and he kind of knows that Hera just clicked up. He's even adding another fishing ship, so he's going to have 6 Dravidian fishing ships. This is going to be a really powerful eco for him.
So he still has to respect that Hera could be going up. But if he doesn't see Hera is in Feudal Age soon, maybe in 30 seconds, because Turks would be later, we'll probably see additional fish added.
He knows. He's adding another fish.
Yep.
He knows.
Yep.
100%.
Okay, so you have to respect that Hera could go scouts and Lycav eventually, so you have to wall. And then you also then need to respect that Hera can still come back on water and castle because the dock is there. And this is where it gets really tricky. You can't just freely fish because you can't take out Hera's dock because it's protected by the sea tower. So I think the optimal way of playing this in Hera's position is actually go fast castle, go light cap, but make like 3 fires and try and come back on water to kill those fish.
I guess the only question would be, at what point do you add the second TC? Like, where does that fit into your timings?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
If you're trying to go light cav and then you're trying to go water as well, Leary's just going to have those fish cooking the entire time. He'll have enough wood with Dravidians to go for his second and third TC right away. So Hera gets the Feudal Age here. He's going to go Blacksmith stable. No market involved, and he'll have enough res because he's got a pretty good economy of his own. All the deer have been pushed in. And Leary will now be playing catch-up to the Castle Age.
It's a weird thing, but I think it really benefits Hera that he was taken to the limit in his Shoals games. Because it was, I mean, it went imp when he lost to Sebastian, and then he probably maybe should have lost against Nikov. So those are 2 really recent memories for him to think about what he can change.
Did you see Leary get that one little shot from the galley on the scout?
That was cute. That was cute.
That was nice. Dove right under the tower, got the one little shot there, and he's in just outside the range of that tower, sitting on stand ground with these galleys, trying to snipe the fish. He's got another one going over to the other side. Don't think these fish are going to stay alive very long for Hera, but he's gotten good value out of them. I am honestly surprised that he's still ahead on res collected, but I think that's going to shift over to Leary's favor with these fish coming in.
Yeah, he when you add more vills, right, and you're not walling quite as much, you normally get it and then lose it. Nice shot from Hera. I mean, he's making Leary work, and Leary saw the stable. It was no surprise to us. I'm sure no surprise for him, and nice snipe there from Hera. So now Hera will have 2 scouts that could scout either side of the map. He is going to lose his fish, but he'll be happy. This is what his game plan was. Maybe not to lose the fish, but you're never going to fish efficiently now anyways. You just want to go to Castle Age and adapt.
I think he might be happy they stayed alive for that long. He was actually really fortunate with the way the deep sea fish spawned next to the tower.
Yeah.
He had a lot of options there, so they stayed alive very, very long. As Leary now clicks up to the Castle Age, he goes for a stable as well.
Yep. I think that's the plan. He's adding the barracks now, so that's probably a stable.
Should be a stable.
Yeah.
Unless he wants to just make like spears or light cav or something. Or sorry, spears or pikemen.
So let's see where Hera drops his TCs. I talked about this earlier in the 3rd place match. So obviously, if you go take the gold right now, that's amazing for you long term. But that's a lot of walking time, and you are going to be down in vills compared to if you do what Hera's doing now. So he goes 2 additional town centers and the monastery. His plan is to bring as many relics back home as possible. And there's a lot of relics on this map. There's 7. So with this Castle Age advantage and Leary not having a scout, odds are very good that Hera's going to get at least 2 or 3 relics. And Lycav could still attack the walls.
Leary's not adding the stable. So it's just spearman spam at the moment to protect the villagers that might stretch out, or maybe if Hera gets inside. You said that Leary needs to wall to win. And the timing on the walls was very good for him. And I love the fact he's adding the houses behind the palisades over here. Like, just don't let him in, dude. Just keep him on the outside. You still have the fish. You can add the extra TCs. You're still going to have an advantage.
Also, Leary has positioned this galley. And this isn't a mistake, by the way, guys. He has positioned that galley next to Hera's dock in a position where the sea tower doesn't hit him. And where he can see
the vills.
If there's going to be fires, right? Because the adaptation that Hera could have gone for is fires in that dock, and he would hide them. So that's great. Now Leary knows he doesn't need to make his own fire ships, and he's got pikes. Pike upgrade cheap with his civs, so we could have pikes for the light cav, and he'll drop his own TCs now.
Look at the food count for Leary. Hera's really at the limit, just trying to farm now to keep these TCs running, but the fish have been going crazy for Leary. And he's going to have enough food to get gill nets, second wood upgrade, spam from 2 TCs, and get the pikeman upgrade as well.
It's a sick eco, and it should be. This is exactly what the Dravidians want, but it's just that late game that you have to keep in mind, and I'm just already thinking about it. When is Hera going to make a move for the golds? Will he do it in Castle Age? Will he do it in Imp?
There's pikeman to the left, man. Can't go there.
Mm-hmm. It's funny, though, because as a player, you don't want to just sit there and not move with your units. I actually think that's the play for Leary. Is just literally just camp 4 pikes on the gold. But he's going to move them around a little bit.
I think Leary does that more than other people. I think he resists the temptation to always move his units, and he'll keep them in the important spots. As Hera goes out for a second dock, Leary does not see this.
Ooh. Now, Hera can see the galley, so he shouldn't put the fire in the dock. I'll be so amazed if he thinks about this. Yo, that's so good. That's so good to put the fire there, because nothing has changed from Leary's perspective whatsoever. And so if Leary doesn't move the galleys at all, he'll probably be surprised on water at some point. But he still benefited from the fish. He still has that worker lead. That's still a positive for him.
More fires coming out from Hera. Leary now stretching out to the right side with 2 villagers.
I like it. Now, it's weird that it's 2. He's dropping a siege workshop, which is also kind of out of place considering there's no TC here from Hera.
I think his thought process here is that Hera's seen the pikeman on the left. So from his perspective, Hera won't want to go over there.
Yeah.
He's going to go to the right, and the right's a little bit closer anyway. So Leary's going to be ready when he stretches out there. But Hera, I mean, at the moment, not showing any signs of being interested in coming out for this gold at all.
Yeah, just crazy farming eco. And sees the pikeman on the left. Does have some relics on the way back. I think Hera will have 3 by the time they all make it. But Hera's going to come back on water. If there was a TC on the right side right now, this siege push would make a lot of sense. The Mangonel, though, makes me think that maybe Leary assumed it was. Like, maybe Leary didn't see a TC on the left and assumed there would be a TC on the right now.
If he goes for a sneaky Mangonel, like 2 of them, he could actually nuke Hera's woodline on the right side. If he, like, sneaks right in there. I don't know if that's part of his thought process, but you could kill a lot of vills with a couple Mangonels.
Leary notices the fires. Now, this is minimal investment from Hera. Obviously, you get the upgrades, but 4 ships killing 10 eco is something you'll like. No real reaction from Leary with production here. His pikes meet the light cav on the left. That's where Hera's going to go to gold, actually. And so Hera doesn't leave it late. And it seems like Leary's happy to just give up his fish, honestly.
And he sees the TC. So critical scouting from Leary. He knows that Hera's stretching out to the left side now.
It's kind of frustrating if you're in Leary's position, because had you done the exact same thing you've done on the other side, this is amazing for you.
Bro, look at the res.
Wow, could click imp here.
He's going up. He's going up, man. Leary, and that's something that I can't remember if it was Mr. Yo or someone said it about Leary years ago. And they're like, he's always an imp first.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how, but he's always there first. And this game, I think, really took advantage of the fish. Didn't invest anything in the water after Feudal Age. And he's just going to pressure the right side. He's going to be up to imp. And then he can use his Imperial Age advantage to push that left side as well. Although he still hasn't clicked up. He needs that second building.
Yeah. But because this siege push just doesn't suit the situation, I think it actually benefits you a little bit, right? Like, Hera has seen nothing to expect this. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And Hera might want to make a move out for this stone eventually. There's resources that are there as well. So, like, here comes Leary. I would like to see him continue to build TCs.
Sneaky. Go sneaky. No, around the edge of the map. Go sneaky. Go ninja.
Leary,
he's not doing it.
It's bothering Leary. He hasn't got value from these yet, so he's going to kill the first thing he sees. That's his mindset right now. And Hera's going to be like, what? Hera will think this is a forward push that is being built right beyond his wood line. But it's actually rolled a pretty long way to get here.
Duville's dead. Farm's abandoned.
That's so good.
It'll take Hera a little bit longer to click up to Imp. His gold supply still isn't good, so Leary's going to have a big advantage to Imperial Age here. He adds the TC on the right side, and the Mangonels keep coming in, and that's Forville's dead now.
And look at Hera, look for those buildings. He does have a light cav seemingly going behind this push, looking for the forward. He's looking for a barracks and a siege workshop that's just simply not there. He passed it in the middle. I guess maybe he saw the siege workshop there and I'm wrong, but Leary could complete that TC. And these two Mangonels paid off so much more than I would have ever expected.
Hera sees the Vills coming out on the left side with a converted pikeman. Also has the fires out there, but there's nothing he can really do about it because he had to pull everything back to deal with this stupid push from Leary in his base. So he goes for a panic castle over on the left, but Leary's timing is going to be insane if he can get this castle up. He's only got a minute until Imperial Age. I think he'll still be building it when he gets there.
Yeah, nice micro from both here. Leary knows this push will eventually just die. He's not adding much more to this. This is all a setup play to delay Hera's Imperial Age, to take Hera away from the gold. Crop shot happens. He clicks the farm. And another crop shot! Hera doesn't want...
And he gets the light cav too.
Yeah, a lot of people will delete their farms, so you can't do that. You can actually get a bit more range if you click the farm. And Leary takes full advantage of that. What a frustrating situation for Hera. There's a castle on the left for Leary. It's not up yet, but if he can get Trebs out soon, Hera doesn't really have an immediate answer for that.
Dude, so many farms denied by this push. I'm looking at it right now. It's 18. 19 farms denied by this push, and another villager dead. Make it 20 farms. Make it 21.
Yeah, so frustrating. You know what else is frustrating, though? The water control from Hera is killing random pikemen. That adds up over time. Leary might need to think about coming back on water. And finally, I think Hera's about to deal with these Mangonels. Leary's distracted.
Leary's not paying attention.
Yeah, it makes sense. At this point, they already deserve a medal for what they've accomplished. And you've done your job.
4 relics, by the way, from Hera. So he just deposited the 4th. He's kind of got that gold income, even if he gets pushed off over here. He's got quite a bit in the bank. And he's got enough to come back as well. He still has 2 piles of gold for 1,000 in his base.
The issue I've had for Leary here, obviously this push has been good, but he's been imp for so long and we haven't seen a Treb yet. And the Turks can go bombard cannons immediately, so you really need those Trebs out fast. It's taken so long, and Hera has the relics. He has resources flying in to go Cav Archers, which they haven't talked about it, but Turks have some of the best Cav Archers in the game, so feels like
Leary's
this is the timing for Leary. He has to take Hera off this gold fast, or things could get dangerous here.
He's going back on water. He's getting War Galley. Could have gone for Therisidai right away. But Hera's going to see the triple docks, so there's no question there. Leary's intention is to get right back on there, and he goes for a single villager castle over on the right.
Well, he knows that the focus really is going to be all about this left side right now for Leary. Leary's adding hand cannons right now, which I don't love. I think that's because his eco's not really set up to go for the skirmisher choice. And I got to say, think about who's been actively mining gold. That has been Hera. Leary has a TC on the right, but that's not protected. Hera's castle will deny that. And Leary might be the one without gold here in a moment.
Skirmisher now coming out from Leary. Fast fire is almost in from Leary, but that castle from Hera is in a really good spot over on the right side. It kind of denies the ships from going over there and taking that out, as Hera doesn't really show much interest in getting a navy of his own. He's just massing Cav Archers, getting his eco back in order after that raid, and trying to defend the castle over on the right side. He takes out a Treb.
Oh, man, and pikemen are just a complete waste at this point. The trebuchets get sniped. The timing needed to be faster here for Leary. He panicked, clicks the skirm. His bombard cannon's now completely out of position. And if Hera can snipe that, this is just horrible for Leary. He's still missing imp upgrades on the skirms. Hera's got the relics. And, oh, man, I mean, just not what you would want here. The issue with forcing the timing
things at once.
Yep, yeah. Exactly. The time that's the thing. It's like if Leary's push works, he wins so fast. But we thought Hera would have the fight.
Seems a little frazzled, man. He's going for a second university. He already has one. He's
Panicking.
forcing out a university right now with 5 villagers. He already has one.
I don't even know where that is, but I'll take your word for it. Yeah, I see it. True. That's not a good sign. But Dave, he's got 1 on gold. Like, he was to gold first, maybe, but he never really had many vills there. If Hera pushes the right side right now and just holds the left, he probably wins this game.
And Hera's got like his situation locked down here. He wants to go Hussar. He wants to go Bombard Cannon, maybe mix in some Cav Archers now going into the Navy. The timings are just way more smooth here for Hera.
I mean,
even though he was later to Imp, he's the one that's piling on the aggression.
And that's what Turks do for you, right? You can survive when you're later to Imp because of the immediate Bombard Cannon. And if he had little on golds, he was able to get more value from that, from the faster gold mining as well. Galleons.
Decent engagement on the water there from Leary. He's trying to surround the Galleons, like you said. And Hera's just pulling those back. Leary is still mining gold on the right side, but it's only 10 on gold at the moment. And we look at Hera's eco. Hera's eco is looking perfectly fine. Already 1,400 gold collected from those relics that he gathered early.
Leary has 2 universities. Still doesn't have ballistics. So he needs to get the gold for that. And he'll need bombard cannons too against Hera's bombard cannons. And the fires do their job in the middle. But you could tell Hera's gearing up for a big switch and push on the right-hand side.
And he's just perfectly capable of holding this. Leary can't even go for cannon galleons to really support his land units because Hera's still threatening on water with 4 docks. And now 3 more coming up.
If Hera thinks his position is really strong here, he'll actually click ship right. He's behind on a lot of upgrades for his Hussars, but I think with games that can go on long, it's worth it. And he's banking the res. Look at how many docks he's placing. My goodness, Leary as well.
Still no ballistics. Oh, there it is. Nice. It's coming in.
Skirm's out of position here underneath the castle. Harris thinks it's worth it to dive underneath the castle fire. He'll take 1 bombard cannon. Only loses a couple Cav Archers. Could have been worse. But Leary can maybe hold and continue to pile some pressure on here. Hera didn't hit as fast as I expected, Dave. I thought an immediate Hussar raid would happen on the right, and Leary would struggle. But I think when he hits, Hera wants to ensure he's maxed out.
Yeah, Hera was busy making Cav Archers, then he was making Navy, right? Didn't really have the time to mix in the Hussar. Also had to get his farm eco back up and running after the raid from Leary, which wasn't easy. But the Hussar come in, they're going to snipe the bombard cannon. The Treb goes down from Hera. Here come the fast fires from Leary. But still, that castle, not in a great position, right? And the castle on the right is going down as the Navy now loops over from Hera to help out against those villagers.
There's a Treb on the right side from Hera. This is the spot I'm worried about for Leary. He doesn't have many production buildings. He's just now building barracks. Like, Hussar kills everything here. And he's defending with only trebuchets. It's not enough Hussar to really do it right away. But you have to imagine there will be more. Leary really needs the time to get some infantry over here. There's more pikes in queue. There's still the left side, though, where Hera has more cannons as well. And he'll snipe the bombard cannons. And Leary's pop is high, but it's mainly eco, and they're just not in the right positions.
Heavy demo even came in there for Hera. And Leary looks at this, and he's at 182 pop, and he says, yeah, I'm out. GG.
Dude, I just really wonder... Obviously, the Mangonel and the Pikeman play ended up getting really nice value. But I wonder what happens in this game if Leary does that to the other side, right? He didn't know where Hera was. Well, he found out later where Hera was. Yeah, so he goes Siege Workshop at like 20 minutes. And Hera wasn't out there yet. And I think... From looking at it, he knows Hera isn't on the left and just assumes Hera's on the right when he's not. And Hera had time to get that castle eventually. Hera, of course, defended with the fast bombard cannons. And we see why Turks was picked in the end.
I honestly think it was also a really good play from Hera. Because Leary had the pikeman over there, and Leary was thinking, okay, I have presence over here. He's going to want to go to the right, which is not very far from his base.
Yep.
The left is actually farther than it from his base. And Hera was probably thinking, okay, he's going to assume I'm going to go to the right. Let's go left.
Yeah.
And he just stretches out to this left side. So it's a little bit of a mind game there. Probably the one issue for me with Leary's gameplay here is definitely the castle timing when he's on the way to Imp.
Yep.
And I know the villagers had to like walk quite a distance or whatever, but the fact he didn't have the castle up and the trebs coming out immediately meant that he couldn't take advantage of his early imp timing at all.
100%. That's how you win the game here. With that build, that's how you win the game. And if you're going to be late with that castle timing, you might as well stay in Castle Age and extend your boom, which is essentially what Hera did. Hera had more vills. Hera delayed his imp and got away with it. And so Hera takes the first win and feeling good. That was the map that Hera was kind of struggled on. Leary got wins in the group stage. Hera had some losses here. Hera also lost in the playoffs. But again, like, he made the adjustments. He went back to the lab.
Last Civ pick, too.
And, yeah, he gets it with the last Civ pick. That's always going to be good. Here we are, game 2. And I think Hera will need to be aggressive here. Because when Leary plays this map, he likes to wall up. He likes to play towards crossbow and fast imp. And there's no better Civ for it than the Byzantines. The generations, always something you need to immediately discuss. And they both have very forward main
not
golds.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look at Hera's secondary golds. He's got like one little neutral one over to the right side, but that's very far away.
Yeah.
Both of his golds are quite forward here. I think this will force him to play aggressive.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the other aspect, which is why I'm just so freaking obsessed with the map, is it's not even about aggressive for the golds and the stones. Usually it's wood lions, or usually it's the docks first. So the way they've spawned makes it fairly easy for Hera to sneak a villager to the north, and fairly easy for him to sneak a villager to the east, depending on where Leary chooses to dock. And the scout's already forward, actually, for Hera, so he's hoping to find him.
Why would he be forward so early?
Well,
that's my question.
Well, the spawns have been really close sometimes, and I think if you don't know about that, it can hurt you.
Yeah, you could be punished. Yeah.
So
yeah, I forget which matchup it was, but there was one where basically the TC was right where Hera's scout is.
Yeah, exactly.
At the moment, and then like his TC was right here. So that's a good point. If you don't know that your opponent's really close to you, you could end up like docking the same pond, maybe, right, by accident, or you could fall victim to like some sort of drush or something like that.
Hera's sending a Vil forward right now, which is really odd.
Oh, is he gonna?
I think he wants to lame in Dark Age. I don't think it's a forward dock, but maybe he will forward dock. I remember Jordan did that like a couple years ago before he retired, and it was very interesting. And Hera is walking across the map. By the time he gets there,
he's gonna forward dock, dude. He's gonna forward dock. He's checking to see if Leary's on that side.
He finds
now he's gonna find the
sheep,
so he knows that Leary's on the right, but Leary will.
Or is
probably go to that pond as well? He's going to forward dock, man.
Well, Leary knows the scout is there because he lost the sheep. And he will move out to dock himself here. Also, look at Leary's boar. It was hidden in that one tile next to the stone. He just found it. Hera's looking for the dock, trying to get this timing.
Oh my god, man. What kind of play is this from Hera? And he's going to find the villager. Leary's scout is nearby. Leary won't find the Vil from Hera, and now Leary is going to try and place this. Hera does not want to sacrifice the scout for a Vil in this position. Leary can always just send another one.
This is fun. This is fun because the scout's kind of normal. This is common. You'll see the scout come forward to deny the dock. Leary feels now that he's in a good spot, and he's going to shift back into normal thinking now, isn't he? He's just going to think, all right, I got to worry about saving my pawns, and then I need to scout his pond. He will never look there, ever. He will find it, I'm sure, with a fishing ship, but like,
dude,
wow.
This is really rough for Hera. If he wants to contest here, you look back at his base, missing those 2 sheep at the back, missing another 2 sheep at the right side, can't push in the deer.
Yeah.
Right?
True,
so,
true.
Like, and the boar already under the TC, like, is he even going to have enough, even with Lithuanians, to click up to the feudal age in time to get this contest?
The thing that I don't like about this build is you have a guaranteed eco lead in this matchup. It's absolutely guaranteed. You walk across the map, you have your scout this active on the front, as Hera garrisons and does some damage. Like, you are weakening your own eco, but I guess if the trade-off is you get the lead long term and get ahead on water against Byzantines, which is kind of rare, it could be worth it.
Let's see when Leary clicks up. He's got some food in the arms of the villagers. He goes for loom. Hera goes for loom, and it's going to be a fairly even timing. If Leary scouts that dock over there, he can win this water contest easily. He's
But
Byzantines.
when will he check? You're going to check in like 90 seconds, maybe. Because
Maybe.
the Vil would be walking across the map now. So Leary's scouting. He'll look for Hera's dock. Now, this will get fun because Leary's going to look for a dock. How thoroughly will he actually search here? Or will he just assume there's a dock because this is what everyone does every time?
He's also up a Vil later than Hera.
Okay, but he doesn't see it. He could easily say, oh, he docked on the right side, and let's focus on something else.
Well, he's looking at the pond from Hera.
Yeah. And he's still
He's gonna
checking.
be like,
Okay,
and he sees the TC placement.
The biggest thing about this is gold timing. So Hera's actually going to gold because naturally he knows he's going fires. Leary needs to adapt to go to gold right now. He's making a 5th fishing ship, Dave. This is a masterclass from Hera, dude. Leary has no clue.
Idea.
Now you're going to check because if your opponent was going forward dock, they would be doing it now.
And it's 2 docks from Hera.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Just
so
wow,
good.
dude. And Leary is going for a barracks here. Let's see if Hera spots that with a scout.
Now he checks.
This
Yep.
is just such a
Now he
completely
checks.
unexpected play.
And he sees a fishing ship. So you have to go 2 docks here to save this, I think. Because if you win, you then, like, you're killing your opponent's fish as well. Like, this is the most important pawn contest you could see early feudal. And Hera was looking for that Vil. Hera's scout is on the prowl. Yeah, it's just, Hera is playing off meta because Leary, you know what Leary's going to do, right? And Leary probably never faced up against this before. Hera hoping for the Vil snipe. Remember, the fire's going to be on the way. Hera gets the Vil snipe. Oh, boy. So good. And there goes the dock.
Now, if you're Leary, like, you got to go for that second dock, sure, but you also feel like you have to go for land pressure. And are you going to have enough resources for that? Is Hera walls in the villager there from Leary? Leary brings his scout over, so that's going to be a dead Vil from Hera.
It depends on the fire, though.
Maybe
there should
not.
be a
The fire
fire
comes
here.
over. If you can block with fishing ships there, you can kill this Vil.
True, but there's 2 fires. Yeah, that's well played.
Dang.
Hera on fire right now, dude. Well, no, Leary's on fire because he just lost the Vil, but
Not anymore.
not anymore. So 2 dock production from Leary, but he's simply outmassed on his own pond, and Hera will switch over to the other pond.
Leary's going to take Hera's pond now. Hera goes to the pond over to the left side, and Leary's actually sending his scout over there. So Hera needs to be careful. If Leary's scout keeps coming forward, it doesn't. But the pond in the south, and Leary knows that's completely clear, is going to belong to Leary.
This is fun, dude. This is fun.
Demo comes in from Hera.
I love the shift. Because Hera is patient with the demo. Like, I love when you have a long tournament, seeing people develop things over time. And Hera, the last, 2 days, has shown us different things each time. And Leary misclicks. He misclicks. And Hera can get a quick wall down to save the villager, Dave. And it's just, everything is going right for Hera. Everything is going wrong for Leary. And now Hera's actually actively scouting the southern pond as well. He has played cross to every pond so far.
Yeah, at some point, Leary is going to need to go for a ship to defend that. But actually, houses around here with Byzantines, free town watch, could give him some really good scouting in the south. So I like that move to add the house over there.
Yeah. Now, the res collected's even. And so while the game state it feels it's ahead for Hera, anytime this game is even with res collected, Byzantines are usually pretty happy. But when you haven't killed a single unit in the game, and you're down first game in the finals in Leary's position, it does not feel good. And this could get worse for him. He'll have to try and fight back. Remember, though, if he wins the northern ponds, he will kill 3 of Hera's fishing ships.
Oh, he still doesn't see the dock from Hera in the south.
He will.
Oh, man. He will, but he still doesn't while the villager's building it. Hera's trying to be sneaky there. Dang.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Demo's in the dock from Leary. He might eject them, and they come out, but Hera notices. Great micro there from Hera to pull
There's
those
demos
away.
from Hera. Don't tell me he's going to get 2. Don't tell me he's going to get 2. Are you kidding me? Horrible start for Leary. Oh, man. Loses 2 demos to 1. And now the pond in the north is most certainly Hera's. Just perfect. And meanwhile, you got a wall situation from Hera again. And, oh, dude, what is happening? Hera's just going off right now. That's another villager trapped in for the fire ship to kill. Unless he deletes his house. Leary, delete your house. Watch Hera. He's going to be ready to place his own house foundation on top of that.
I was confused because there's literally 4 pawns in play right now.
Oh, that's fair.
It's the one in the south. Leary's expanding to the left and to the right as Hera walls in this villager a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see. Leary has to run, and he has to delete his house to escape.
He's not losing HP on the Vil somehow. Now he is.
And the Vil's
Trying
dead.
to make
He
a
didn't-
wall,
hard to
doesn't
think
get it.
about. Hard to think about, dude. There's so many things happening. Yeah, this is sick from Hera. Absolutely sick.
Look at the KD.
Like, the thing is, even if you know what Hera's going to send your way, it's incredible, right? And he's probably going to be the favorite. But if there's also some prep combined with it to do things like this, it takes it one step further. And this is one of the more satisfying games I've seen strategically. Just completely shaking it up. Never expected from Leary's side. And Leary's probably sitting here thinking, like, I haven't been able to play my game today. And I'm already going to be down 2 games. Just crazy.
Yeah, Leary's trying to get his eco in balance, but Hera, 1 minute and 45 seconds away from the Castle Age.
And so I think it has reached that state where even though Leary is being competitive on the pawns, Leary for the first time could surprise Hera on the left. And Leary could maybe fishboom on the right. Even though all of that's the case, faster to Castle Age can give you so many bonuses here. You can drop the town centers. You can go for knights. You can go for cav archers. I think Hera will shift his focus more to lands, feeling like he's already done enough. And I would personally like to see a stable and a knight, and that's it. Just like literally one knight. Force Leary to wall up everything and panic with that, and allow you to focus on whatever else you want to go for.
KD right now, water contest against Byzantines is 16-3, 17-3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's disgusting play
so,
from Hera. It's
so
just
cool.
so good.
It's so cool. And it's just, I've talked about it the last few days where you should know, roughly speaking, where the opponent is going to dock because everyone always docks close to where their TC is. So he found the TC, he got the dock where Leary was, and it started the ball rolling. Obviously, some big follow-up play with the execution, and it is 2-0 for Hera. I've been here before. I've been in this situation before. These two in a final, and the first 2 games dominant for one player. This is going to be tough for Leary to turn it around mentally, I think.
Yeah, that one is just completely unexpected, right? The first game, he picks Turks, whatever, a little bit of a surprise. You kind of missed your timings. You know where it went wrong there.
Yeah.
On this game, if you're Leary, you're like, well, I guess I could have scouted the dock a little bit sooner. Maybe I don't get my Vil walled in. But other than that, Hera just dictated the pace of that game from start to finish.
Yeah, took the initiative in a way that you might not be able to do in a more standard fashion. Other ways of taking initiative, if you went for the starting back dock, would be like maybe spears and skirms, but Byzantines can probably deal with that. If you sneak the Vil later on, then Byzantines can deal with that because it's one dock versus one dock. It was just, yeah, dude, like this is what you want as in terms of strategy and prep. That was amazing. So hope for Leary that he can turn it around a little bit here. Obviously, we still haven't seen peak Leary yet because Hera has not simply allowed him to play his style. So one game at a time. But when the level can be seen as so close in high-level Age of Empires 2, one win like that feels like you can win a series, you know? The last time Leary won was in 2021 in Red Bull Wololo 4.
Oof.
So I didn't realize it was that long. I thought there was
Great
a couple...
chance here for Leary. Down 2-0. Big comeback incoming.
Big
narrative
comeback.
changer.
Big comeback hype in the chat. Let's go.
Guys, imagine if it happens, though. Imagine if it happens. It's going to be sick. Think about it.
I mean, imagine the weight off of Leary's back if he can finally get one after losing the last 15, if that's what it was. So 2-0 for Hera. Easy, not just an amazing victory game number 2, but also amazing mental victory, I have to say. He goes for the Tatars, and honestly, throughout group stage, I was a little surprised we didn't see this Civ more. We saw other Civs for good reason, but this map was made for the Tatars, it feels like. You've got the extra food on your sheep when you have a limited food supply, and you do more damage when fighting on top of hills, and the whole map is just a giant freaking hill. So,
and you have great cav archers.
Yep.
And people really like cav archers nowadays.
Yeah, Lancers as well, when it's very easy to overchop. Lancers could be a solid option. But the Saracens, as this Ostrich is trolling Leary as if things could get worse. Saracens could be considered a good counterpick to any Civ that relies on Cav Archers or Knights or Lancers. So I think that's what Leary was thinking about.
I would go for a different Ostrich and let this guy have a timeout, but Leary's still pushing the same one.
Well, he learned his lesson. You can't let your Ostrich or Deer touch a woodline because they hug the woodline and wrap around it.
Yeah.
Right now. So that's what happened, and he tried to set the course straight, but they just won't do that at the moment. Maps are not great for either player. You're really comparing two bad maps either way you look at it. In some ways, I prefer Hera's map because I think his wood is slightly safer, but then his golds are absolutely brutal. So map control is going to be needed here.
Leary could wall himself into the corner. Margugu, where are you at? Harris has a little bit of work to do.
Yeah.
To do the same thing, but that could be nice later on. It's not going to be a factor in Feudal Age, though, at least early. He'll need to figure out a way to defend his woodline, because that's, like you said, that's the major problem right now. Just that woodline is so far away, it feels like.
And then this hill. So older versions of Kilimanjaro, there was only 3 tiles of gold and 3 tiles of stone, and we doubled it. And occasionally we'll see both people get up here with TCs. But that's right between the two of them, of course. And I would say that this map probably favors the more aggressive style, just simply because while you can wall, while players will opt to do it, there's so many things that can go wrong here. And the wood lines are really difficult to wall between and see where there's gaps. And if you play too passive, you're not going to have map control. So I want to see scouts from Hera. Saracens, they usually might be tempted to go archers, but I could see scouts as well from Leary, honestly.
I think scouts is a much better opening here than archers, to be honest. It just gives you so much more flexibility, and you don't have to hard commit on to going into gold and making that mining camp early. You can just do it later. The scouts will protect you long enough.
Well, the other aspect is you spawn on the edge of the map, and any map where you spawn on the edge of the map, you're far away. So it's similar to Shoals. Obviously, that's different overall, but they spawn on the edge of the map, and they're far. So scouts, for that reason, seem like the play. And Leary clicks up. Hera will click up a little bit later. And both players getting loom. And Hera's scout is out looking to see where the opponent is. It's also really hard to find the opponent here because there's not a big main gold pile to look for. And the wood lines are normally on the back corner. Normally when you scout, you're looking for indicators on the fringe of their base, the outside of their base. You have to actually commit pretty far to the edge. So it's much easier to make a mistake. You could see Hera's kind of concerned. Okay, now he sees the stone. He can stay close to that. Now he sees a house. Now he sees a straggler, and he should know the TC's there. And he knows.
Now, you just got to figure out where the woodline is. Berg's timing there for Leary. So Hera might know that with that timing that he's just a little bit faster than him. Shouldn't matter too much, though. Like you said, they're really far apart from each other.
But there's no eco bonuses involved with the Saracens yet. It's a cheap market, better market rates, but you're essentially hoping that you're even in castle, and then you have the tanky camels. The market, of course, has a bigger effect than, and maybe even archers. Like archers taking out walls is something that Leary's pretty accustomed to. Speaking of, Hera's actually on gold. So Hera going to gold.
See when Leary spots that. Hopefully he doesn't run into the TC.
With the way this day is going. There he goes.
Oh, he dodged.
TCs don't hit anything. Still no damage dealt. Okay, somehow an arrow hit. Another arrow hit. And Leary's like, come on, give me something. And Hera kills it. That's funny. Don't get trapped here, Leary. Don't get
He's
trapped.
baiting it. He's trying to bait it, dude. He's trying to bait it. I wouldn't have never have thought about going in there against Hera, but Hera, expects Leary to be able to dodge that, and Leary has belief in himself to be able to dodge that one too.
Very curious to see how many scouts Leary can make here, because when you see a range opening, you immediately need to go into skirms and cut scout production. And I think in Hera's mind, since he has so much food... Oh, wait. Leary's trying again to lame, and the TC gets garrisoned. By the way, are they ever going to do something about this?
I don't know.
I feel like the fact that every single game now we see this situation, it's just obnoxious.
They're probably going to do something dumb, like, we can't fix the TC, so we're going to make goats impervious to scout damage.
Garrisonable,
like that,
garrisonable goats or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Get in the living room.
But yeah, I think Hera's logic is he wants to force Leary into skirms here.
Oh, nice kill. Beautiful kill on the scout there from Hera. That's really, really well done there from Leary.
Well, still no stable for Hera, which is surprising. 5 scouts already for Leary. He's on gold as well, so he'll go for archers here. And just not really the aggressive game that I was expecting from the Tatars. I thought we'd see the scouts from them moving forward. But Hera going for the slow, calculated build-up.
Maybe Hera felt like he just needed archers to protect that gold.
Maybe.
And he's just going to play really defensively with it, right?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you'll use a resource so you can prioritize your base around it. And like that tower, that's a good tower. He's clearly concerned about that gold, just in case you need that. And he's tracking this, but Leary also knows he's being tracked. So Leary has to respect that Hera's probably going to deal with whatever he sends his way for now.
Leary really using the market. Love that. Wouldn't like it with any other Civ, but with Saracens, makes sense.
Yep, and skirms on the way. I said it before, like, we haven't seen Leary play Leary style yet. Shoals was more of a boomy map, which was expected. The previous game, he never got going. This is Leary. Arabia style, scouts, skirms. And this is also a trend. When Hera plays Leary on these types of maps, he is the defensive one. He'll go more aggressive on other style maps, but here, he seems to really respect Leary. Maybe Leary's a step up, or maybe it's just not as close.
I'm wondering if Hera keeps adding in significant amounts of military here in Feudal Age. It kind of feels like he's just going to keep one range producing archers.
Yeah,
but it kind of feels like he's just going to keep making archers and then try and go up to Castle Age.
Which I guess makes sense if you can keep the archers alive. But these skirms, I don't know. It's tough if you're Leary because there's no obvious eco damage that you can deal. So you're just camping the berries. But I think this is good for Leary. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. And like I said before, Leary's not one of those guys that always needs to be moving his units. You would think he was with his style, but he's really not. He'll camp farms. He'll recognize the value, and he'll just sit them there. And right now, camping the berries is the best thing that you could be doing.
Hera maybe thinking about a market with this setup, but doesn't even have the wood for it. And these are fully armored skirms, so good luck trying to take out these skirms. And I think Leary should know now. If he hasn't seen a scout by now, this has to be Hera hoping for the crossbowman timing. But this is
so frustrating if you're Leary, though. You have this army, you should have the advantage, scout skirm, right? You got good timings and everything, and your opponent is just mindlessly taking the berries in front of your face, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I think it's more frustrating for the villagers. I mean, these are not good working conditions right now. But it isn't, right? This is giving him time, and he's patient enough to know that these vills will all need to be pulled away somewhere else soon. And I also love how much he has on gold. He knows this is castle, so he's sending a bunch of vills to gold to buy his way up. Hera will be at the limit. I'm sure Hera is not going to allow himself to lose a single archer. But Hera will not be able to do much more than what he commits to in early Castle Age.
Please tell me Leary notices the hole on the left side of his base after he's done that wall.
Left side of his base.
That would be absolutely tragic. There's one in the trees.
Well, Hera will never go that far anyways. Hera will,
that's what you think.
Hera will take the palisade walls, I think. I want to see him...
Archers are sneaking out. Is Leary going to be able to track that?
I was wondering if he was doing the right thing to even go to the right side. Why are we going to the back of the opponent's base? He wants to find damage, but if anything, you want to hold the middle. hold the middle. You do not allow your opponent to advance out. And there goes Hera now with these 9 units, and everything's not fully walled. If Hera can get crossbowman and bodkin,
ooh, this is
brutal.
great from Leary. He buys himself stone so he can go for stone walls behind the palisades. And he's making a house behind the palisade on the left, too.
Yeah,
he knows this army is coming forward. Now he's harassing the farms. Harris still has resources in the bank to get his upgrades, but it's going to be a little bit tough after that if he can't deal with these skirms.
Honestly, stonewall where you can, buy a tower right beyond this
Leary,
wall.
save the bills.
You're never going to get the wall down in time, but you buy a tower to just prevent Hera from breaking through fully, and maybe that's enough.
He's going to get the wall down in time.
Hera is like, he can't even afford a knight to clear up the skirms right now, which is crazy.
Man, this is great commitment from Leary. Still rare to see someone doing this.
Yeah. And doesn't lose the Vil. That hole is no longer there. And Hera is hoping for a hole. We have a pause now.
Game pause. Admin re. Stone walls behind palisades. Unfair.
Hera's like, excuse me, this is not arena? Excuse me, the stone walls? Is this allowed?
Map check.
And Leary's like, yeah, is it allowed to chill so much? Not make scouts on an Arabia map? What is this? But Leary on the way up. What an uptime there from Hera, though. This puts him in a fairly adaptable position, right? Can make a lot of decisions from here. And his choice is to fixate on that house, it seems. Which I think is a good call. Leary needs to keep those skirms alive. If Leary can get to skirm camel, he's got the better comp. But if those skirms get spotted and killed by these knights, he could have some big issues.
You know, Leary's also on a little bit of a clock behind this this wall because the wood, like there's still wood available there.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not a ton, right? He can't sit here forever.
Look at Leary attacking the knight. The knight doesn't have any upgrades. Hera never had the eco for that. And so loses a scout, but weakens the knight. Took Hera a bit of time to actually commit against a house here. He would have taken out a house very quickly, but he just keeps looking around.
No market either for Hera.
Yeah.
So he can't buy this stone for another TC. He's going to have to like long distance take that or make a market.
Look at him attack the farm there. Take the farm away. But I think this is relatively okay. If you're Leary, especially if you find the villager from Hera that Hera wanted to siege push with.
Nice.
Oh, man, that's an expensive loss for Hera. He also loses a crossbow. He could kill all the skirms, though, at the critical time. There's 2 knights there now, but killing that villager is a really big deal.
I think if you're Leary, you got to pull these scouts away and look for the next villager coming. He hard commits trying to get that knight, though. He is going to take out the knight, which is good, but loses all of the skirmishers now, and now his scouts don't really have enough to deny this other villager coming forward. I would have liked it a lot if he had just pulled those 5 scouts and tried to delay that siege workshop even longer.
I agree. I'm shocked. I mean, those 2 scouts there could be looking for that Vil, making Hera work a little bit harder. That house is going to go down. He will have elite skirm for 4 skirms. They will be fully
inside
armored.
the range that's right beside the crossbows too.
Well, he could build 2 markets maybe. It's so tough against thumb ring crossbows.
Better. Op, market. Nope.
Or you wait because you think you can win the fight, and he hops out, kills a crossbow, and yeah. But you know, in Leary's position, you know it's siege push now. Like Hera's not going to back up on that and just cancel that idea. And it still makes a lot of sense. So he just has to fight himself uphill, which is not going to be easy. But that's the map, dude. And that's why I really like the strategy from Hera, because long term, you need the middle. So any fortifications you add there are key. Leary diving.
Good fight from Leary. Yeah.
He hasn't killed a crossbow yet, though. It took him some time to actually hit the volleys.
He's going to kill more now. He did separate the knights from the crossbows, so his camels could get in some damage. And 3 of those knights are very weak as Hera drops in a monastery. He's going to pull those back and heal them.
I don't fully understand the situation. Leary probably doesn't fully understand how he didn't kill crossbows there. He was right next to them. And I think he expected more clear-ups. He would have loved to have killed those 3 knights that Hera's now saved to heal up. It's still so hard to just advance out across the map right now if you're Leary. And the gold is not an issue. Sorry, the wood is the issue for Leary. He's chopping through all of his wood supply.
I think he should look for these weak knights. He's looking around. He knows that Hera pulled him back. It's 3 really weak ones there, but Hera's just going to chill and wait for this monk to come out. Now he's cutting off the reinforcements, so that's nice from Leary. Not going to be able to kill them, but he will weaken them.
Full army from Hera. He will lose a crossbow, weaken some camels. He'll take that trade, and he's being patient now. And I think...
TC from both.
Like, Hera might choose to go TC2 now. He might be somewhat happy with the position he has. But if you build the second TC, do you build it on the hill? I would, right between the stone and the gold.
It depends, right? It depends how much army you think Leary has out there. Leary goes to the second TC on a wood line to the left. That's probably a good one, since you need the wood access. He's running out in his main base. And Hera long distance took the stone. So I think the TC, it's going to go on the berries. Okay.
Well, I think it might be the wood, actually. That's the priority. The berries are there. But he's running out of trees as well.
Yeah.
What's crazy to me is Leary only has 1 camel at home, and Hera's got all those knights. Like, if Hera would have just dove right after the army moved forward, yeah, he would have actually been able to kill the skirms and run in, but now Leary's leaving
remember
his base.
how weak 3 of those knights were.
Yeah, that's fair.
Very, very frail.
That's
right.
fair.
So from Hera's POV, 1 or 2 camels can basically, with the TC fire, can clear up that army.
Isn't it crazy, though? If Hera would have gone to the hill for the TC, now, granted, he would have moved his army over to protect it and maybe win the fight, but Leary is looking here, so...
Ooh, crossbows, maybe in a bad spot. Let's see if Hera notices. Of course he does.
Right
It's
away.
Hera.
Right away.
Right away.
I think that Leary may soon wish he did not leave his base. He kind of has to, but these are knights with armor and bloodline soon, and Leary only has 2 weak camels. These skirms may be able to wedge themselves in there, but that doesn't really benefit the skirms much either. Hera should clear this, Dave. I think so anyways.
Yeah, Hera's going to clear the skirms. Leary tried to come forward with some more camels from home, but he decided that wasn't worth it, and that army's just going to be dead from Leary. So the KD keeps climbing here for Hera. Villager count is still in Leary's favor, though. 58 vills versus 55 from Hera. They both have 2 TCs. And Leary is now going where with all these vills? Going to gold with like 1 million vills.
I kind of want to see him... Well, he lost so much army. That's such a devastating loss. But I was going to say I kind of want to see him take a risk and try a castle on the hill. Hera's going to lock down that hill now, though.
Problem for Leary is going to be the left side with the wood and everything.
Yeah, and
he needs to lock that down somehow.
Like, Hera's going to see... It's a perfect position because... The Siege Workshop and the Monastery command so much respect. From Leary's perspective, an army could come in at any moment. And Hera will know if an army goes there. He'll now have the hill. It's so clean. And Leary just slightly off the pace as well. Like, typically, you're not seeing him lose armies like that based on what we've seen from him throughout his career.
See if this outpost gives him vision on the knights. It does. He can quick wall in these vills. He's going to shift the camels over, so he knows the knights are coming back. He doesn't even bother with the quick walls, and now he still has some skirms, although being a skirmisher in Leary's army thus far this game is not a very desired position. Like, these things are dying for free.
Well, +2 armor on camels that have 145 HP. The mangonels almost become more important than the skirms at this point. And if Leary comes to the hill now...
Yeah.
If he brings vills up this hill, he might have an opportunity to drop a castle there. It would be a close fight, but it's maybe doable, and maybe that gives him some momentum here.
I mean, those camels with 145 HP are going to buy you a lot of time to start building that castle.
Yep.
With the mangonels here, with the skirmishers, with the +2 armor, you just have to get the timings right, and you have to send enough villagers if you're going to do it.
There's one thing Hera's missing. It's outposts and town watch. He needs to know what's coming here. This is where I'd love to see some villagers through the middle, between his base build-up.
Background!
It actually misses.
Damage.
Camels are now on the other side, but they're against knights. Hera did just get +2 armor, but those camels are mainly on the hill, and the skirms there from Leary are going to snipe the monks, and this could be an amazing fight for Leary. If he goes a bit better, he might build that castle. I think he needs to bring the vills now.
He's going to lose a lot of camels here. The crossbows are still stepping back. They've got thumb ring, right? The camels just melt. They just melt. The siege was behind the wood line.
I think
it was behind the wood line.
I was expecting more patience there from Leary. You took a good engagement. Back away towards your mangonels. Don't dive with your camels, but he's under pressure here today, Dave. It's hard to feel patient when it feels like you're always behind. The game is really close. Closest game we've seen so far, maybe. And more camels coming to the hill. Both players soon having the stone for a castle.
How many? How many does he send? That is not enough, my guy. Okay, here comes some more, but they're getting stuck on the gold. Oh, no.
Okay, no wheelbarrow 2 makes this extremely painful because it takes forever to get there.
Now you got to win Mangonel fights, Tristan. You got to win them. If you don't in Hera's position, you got a castle on your face. That sucks. If you don't in Leary's position, you lose like 10, 12 villagers, and the game's over.
It's important that Leary saw the Mangonel, because if he didn't see the Mangonel, he might have dropped the castle too close to the TC. You want a big bounce back moment here. You want that in-your-face castle to work.
How much on the way for Hera?
Perfectly timed. He knows we're building up towards a big moment here. No, Leary.
Okay, it's shot. It's shot. He should be fine. It's shot. It's shot.
Bro.
Okay.
Hera almost destroyed it. Now Hera's building his own castle. Now Hera's canceling his own castle. Can Leary come back in the game and in the series?
Hera is replacing the castle on Leary's face. So Hera is shifting all of his villagers over there because he knows it's going to take Leary forever.
It's a good play.
Back over to that
There's
side.
the Mangonel, though.
Play, but there's the Mangonel there from Leary. He doesn't see it in time.
Attack it!
He's got to kill the villagers now.
Oh my God.
That Hera castle kind of blocks him from shooting the Mangonel.
Well, if he walls himself in real quick, the knights can't come in, and this is a disaster for Hera. Hera's like, can I actually go in there? I'm not sure. Leary will drop a gate. It's too late. The Mangonel will go down. Hera's castle should go up. That's a good castle.
Camels are coming, though.
But this gets so tough. Yep. Oh, man.
See if the Hera gets the conversions. Monks are going to go down. One conversion comes in. The crossbows are still there protecting. The knights could have been walled off. If Leary had walled off those knights earlier, that castle never goes up, I think.
Okay, so Leary has to decide. Do I defend my base or do I kill Hera? I would love to see a base trade here because they both might lose all of their economy. If he goes to kill Hera, Hera's Imp TC is the one underneath the hill. Hera should never make it to Imp if Leary advances forward. But does he advance forward when he's got all that army in his base right now?
Yeah, and they're killing villas. Leary went for a panic TC. The camels are coming out. He's going to lose a lot of villagers. It feels like his camels could have come into Hera's base at the same time and done the same.
It's so tough.
But when you have knights, you're thinking about raids a lot more than when you have camels.
Exactly. And you feel as though you have a nice position now because you placed that castle on the hill. So you absolutely do not want to lose that advantage. But with Hera imping and Hera's TC seemingly going to survive. Look at Hera's micro against the castle as well, by the way. That's cute. Are you kidding me?
Oh, my God. And he saved enough time for ballistics to come in. If they kept attacking that universe, they would have been denied. Herbal medicine even coming in for Hera as he heals up all his knights in the castle. That is a disgusting position here for Hera.
I mean, can the TC stay? Does the TC stay up here? I think it's fine. Leary just unable to keep track, man. The Mangonels will get sniped again. TC will be up, which means he'll be on Trebs. He's got a 20 villager lead. His knights are healing inside of his castle. He's building a defensive castle. Doesn't have the hill, but just one Trebs.
Flip up from Hera. Crossbows die.
And Hera notices it. And Hera
feels like
punishes him.
He's 2 seconds away from Leary realizing there's not much of a chance here. And GG called by Leary. Closest game of the series, but still, like, Hera looks at that castle in his face on the middle, and he just goes, okay, I'll go aggressive. And he goes to the forward castle there. Maybe if there's like a gate wall or just a wall so the knights can't come in, that castle's denied. We have ourselves a different game, but Leary just couldn't keep up, man.
One or two moments. I mean, something to think back to. Now, ultimately, Leary was protected from the crossbows in early Castle Age, but his skirms and scouts were all the way in the back behind Hera's TC. And it's amazing what an extra minute or two can give you And I think if Leary was patrolling the hill, was just keeping an eye on Hera right beyond the tower, Hera can't advance out until he gets crossbow and Bodkin, which takes time then to get across the map. And then that would have meant that Leary could have saved his skirms. He had such an issue in early Castle Age because he lost like 7 or 8 skirms. I think in a different scenario, he would have liked to fall back behind his walls, keep those units alive. Then Skirm Camel is maybe in higher numbers to get the push started. But it just, I see 2 different things right now. I see Hera bringing the level that we've seen this whole week in the playoffs, right? The level we know he can bring in the biggest moments. Leary's close to it, but I also just see hesitancy and uncertainty at times when he's up against Hera because of the recent track records. Now, maybe that's just, it could be partially just Hera's style is a step up, which is, I think there's a strong argument for. But Leary's killer instinct is, I don't think he believes in it as much, honestly, when he's up against Hera, when Hera's playing this good.
He does seem a little bit hesitant, but at the same time, like once he makes the decision, he's almost trying to do too much.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like he tried to go too deep there with the army.
Yeah.
And then in the first game, he tried to do 4 things when he got to Imp, and none of them really worked out very well.
Yeah.
And then he was like hesitating between going forward with the camels, coming back with the camels. They weren't really doing anything. And it's just Hera is dictating the entire game every single time.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, it's like, I think it's both sides of the coin. I don't think it can be fully, well, what can the losing player do? Or maybe the losing player is making mistakes. I think it's just Hera forces those mistakes. And there's 2 parts to the confidence story. If you've won against the other as consistently as you have, you're gonna be so much more sure of yourself. And then on the flip side, the other guy's gonna be doubting himself. So there's this wide gap of confidence, and you got to get it back with wins. And now he's 0-3, and now you're just like, well, I get the brooms out. Will Leary be able to get a win on the board here?
We curling? Oh, that's not what you're talking about.
No, we're not curling. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I got excited there for a second.
Is that a thing, though? Like, is there, like, if I were to visit you in Canada, could we just, go curl? Or do we have to be a part of a league?
No, they're so desperate for anyone who's under the age of 80, dude. You could go to like a local, there's usually a local curling club, right? You could go there and like just say, hey, is there a casual night or whatever? And yeah, you just go. I've never been curling, man. I'm saving it until I'm like 60. I love watching it. Like the Briar's on right now. I'm going to watch it tonight, but yeah. I think it's a good sign that Leary went for Hera's map. In terms of Leary's mentality, because I think we've seen it before where he's just like, whatever, I'll go for my final home map and then the set will be over.
Yeah.
When he's down 3-0.
Yeah.
But he's actually picking Hera's home map here. So he still has his home map coming home. If he gets a win, it's not going to be in a great position, but he will still have maybe an advantage later on.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, again, you're not confident right now. You got to build back towards that. And if Hera loses 1 game, Hera's probably like, oh, okay, that's fine. Hera loses 2 games, then you start to worry a little bit. Hera loses 3 games in a row, then Leary's got all the momentum, and the pressure's on. That would be an amazing story, of course, but it's hard to believe right now. Now, Hera's scout is moving to the outside very early. Is he going to do the thing that he did when the map was first introduced and attack the boar? He is. And so this is always an option for you. Some people will use the Vil, but other people will bring in that boar with their scouts. And then you also have the 2 rhinos. So I like this. It's either that or players are going to move out to find the extra cows on the map, which Leary's doing.
It's also super bold doing this against a player like Leary, right? Like Leary is the type of guy against anyone else. If they lose HP with their scout against this boar, he's going to punish them so heavily with his starting scout with some bullshit, right? Like something that shouldn't work. And Hera just doesn't care. Well, he's going to run away with this scout. He lost a little bit of HP, and he'll be perfectly fine.
Well, an aspect to that, though, is you have to take it right away. Like, he didn't even find his sheep. Because if you wait, then there's a chance that the enemy scout is there and stops you. So you do have to do that right away. Now, I doubt we're going to see it here. But I hyped up this strategy, which I creatively called the Thing. And it didn't work. I teased it for weeks. People were like, tell us. And then Dragonstar tried it against Leary, and he died. And then everyone said the strat sucked. But I maintain that if you do this, like if Hera were to do it, he would just dominate. And basically...
Dude, just tell us what it is.
I'm telling you, calm down, bro. Okay.
It's like a 15-minute preamble. Just tell us what it is.
So, what it is, double dock galleys, you full wall across the front and the crossing, and you win water, 12 fishing ships, your castle age faster, you go knights and adapt.
Okay.
And so
if they go for some early land pressure, what happens?
Stone wall.
Stone wall. What if they go for a tower forward and pressure right into your base?
Then counter tower. Their fish are dead. They have no water control. They can't cross to the outside because you have navy there.
Stonewall everything, and then you'll have enough stone for a counter tower as well. And you got to micro your galleys at the same time. Seems like a lot.
So it was the classic thing where I saw 2 games where it worked really well, and I just think it's the best thing ever. And then the only time people have actually seen it, it sucked because the land pressure worked. So I doubt
think it's just too much to pay attention to. Maybe someone like Hera could pull it off, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's a strategy that's good if you're heavy underdog like Dragonstar versus Leary. When you're Hera, you're up 3-0. You're not going to try that, most likely.
Leary just pulled in the boar. So Leary did the same thing with the scout. He brings in the boar. Hera's there a little bit too late. Although the cows are still, I think, in Hera's advantage, right? He's got a bunch of cows coming over. No, Leary just brought them over earlier.
Yeah.
So cows are fairly even.
And now what Hera has done in the past is he does go galleys, but I think he goes 1 dock galleys, gets to like 2 or 3, and then micros his heart out, and then also opens archers.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, that is easily the most difficult thing to do because 1 dock galleys feels really risky against 1 dock fires, and you can so easily just get overwhelmed there. But if your micro is perfect,
if you have attention everywhere, then you're fine, right? And if you're the opponent of someone that goes 1 dock galleys, theoretically it's counterable, but it's also very frustrating.
Yeah.
Because they're not investing that much. They can still afford the land pressure, and you have to pay attention to where those stupid galleys are going to show up and snipe your fish, so you can't get the fishing eco up. Mm-hmm. Very, very annoying to play against.
Yeah, I think I've never seen Hera not do it. Then again, he didn't play evac that much compared to the other maps, so we'll see.
There is going men-at-arms, or is it just 2 militia?
Well, it seems like it might be 2 militia. See, this is kind of in theory, the type of build that should be really strong on this map. This map was designed for things to go wrong.
Mm-hmm. Especially with the cracked earth terrain all over the place, right? If you wall up, they're going to get through quickly. Leary doesn't spot the barracks from Hera just yet. Should expect that it's going to be Galleys Archer, like you said, though.
And Hera... Why is Leary putting his militia in his town center right now? He's got a militia in his TC. He's trying to hide him, bro. Yeah, but
he knows the scout is around.
But 1 is out of the TC. It makes me think he did it by mistake. Okay.
Maybe they're cold.
It's true. Yeah, that's we forgot about that.
On this desert terrain.
And Hera sees it. Just looking at the right things at the right times here. Yeah, I do like the cheekiness from Hera. But think about going scouts here. So he hasn't gone to golds. He isn't going to make ships at all. It's just going to be scouts for now.
It's so infuriating when you watch someone at this level and you're expecting, the men-at-arms to be a surprise. And then they just spot it as soon as the 3rd militia is out. Right? The scouting is just so good.
Yeah,
it's so good from both players. Although Leary hasn't... Oh, no, he did see the stable. Okay, so amazing scouting.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it goes both ways. And think what else they had to do. Like, they had to get the cows. They had to get the boar. They had to scout for their dock position. They had to scout, did the opponent dock? How many docks? I mean, they haven't checked for how many docks yet. But based on the openings, they should know it's just 1 for now.
Will Hera see this? He saw the villager coming forward earlier. But that could easily be for like a tower to support men-at-arms. There is a forward range here.
Yeah.
And Hera is sending his scouts forward. He's trying to get damage because he knows the first spear will likely come to meet up with this stuff. and not be at home. So
Yeah.
Leary needs to add a spear back there, go for the archers as well. And from Hera's perspective, he needs to realize that there's a range coming up.
There's a lot of things that could go wrong. Oh, Hera, I wonder if he thinks there's vills on the lumber camp in the outside.
He does.
Because that usually happens.
Leary did take the wood there, but then he abandoned completely. So maybe Hera's going to see those trees and then embark on like this entire adventure to try and find where those vills went.
Hera's not on gold.
Over there. He's going to see the trees are chopped, dude.
Yeah,
he's like, where did they go?
Yeah, true. You see, look, he wants to tower it, but there's no vills there. Jebaited.
Does he go all the way into the corner looking for them?
Yeah, it's just pretty sick from both. I mean, there's a lot of value to the forward range for Leary. There's a lot of value to the range out here for Hera. If anything, I wouldn't mind Hera going for a forward dock, but the bigger issue right now is he's not actively able to mine gold if the archers pop out for Leary.
Still doesn't see it.
Dude, I really like the man-at-arms against the stable on the cracked terrain with the hill. Japanese man-at-arms will shred this. And just a lot to pay attention to.
You know, Hera usually gets a lot of respect with his villagers here. Leary's not giving that to him. He's going in with the men-at-arms. He's trying to block the villagers from repairing the
Leary,
stable.
your base.
Suddenly, oh boy, scouts are there. Oh no.
On the hill, a spearman got sniped by Hera. One of the scouts will go down. Another spearman's going to need to be on the way. I think there will be archers and man-at-arms active from Leary at the same time, and they are. But does he notice this, and does Hera notice this? Leary notices, and Hera doesn't. He takes a hit to his scouts.
And Hera brought the villager from the left side forward. He's walling in the lumber camp from Leary.
That's so annoying. Like, bro, you're up 3 games against me already. Send that Vill out of here.
So the question for me is, Leary actually takes out the dock villager from Hera. Hera's kind of losing focus a little bit.
Hera lost his fish as well.
All these areas he's usually paying attention to. His villager is being chased on the left side. Maybe Leary's forgotten about that. And Hera is just transferring more villagers to the south as his main base is kind of being locked down by this archer play from Leary.
Yeah, Hera lost some of his scouts as well. Well played from Leary here. Just so much aggression. And yeah, the Armenians can use the mule cart to move them around, but that's still not... That's not collecting resources. There's a lot of idle time involved in that. Watch the stable.
Good start from Leary.
Goodbye, stable. That stable's gone. No way Hera can save that. Cracked terrain, Japanese infantry, and Hera will try and save it, I think, with the couple archers. I think Leary should camp this. Now, take the stable, Leary. Come on.
I think you should just commit fully to it.
Yeah, just take it out and then do whatever else.
Even if you lose even if you lose one of those guys, it's fine.
Yep. And down goes the stable. Perfect. So Hera, no fishing eco. There's going to be 5 fishing ships for Leary. And Hera playing into archers here out of 2 ranges. That's the one thing that could help him recover right now. But he can't make more scouts. Oh, wow. That was a really
nice
good hit
with that spearman. Yeah, that was a really good hit because the stable's down. Like you said, like he can't make any more scouts. So now Leary could go into skirms if he wanted to, and there's only going to be 2 scouts on there to help against that.
You know what's weird from Leary's perspective? He has no clue that these vills are on the outside, but I'm wondering...
He should know.
Well, he can go there right now, and if he doesn't lose the archers... Ah! Yikes.
Dude, I don't know what that was.
There's no way that Hera can get across easily because the galleys are there. I mean, what that was is he's probably distracted, but that hurts because now Hera's got an army coming, and Leary's range is forward. So Leary will have more army, but he needs defense.
It's still a very long way away. There's only 2 scouts. He's going for the tower on the gold, and he's actually gone to stone, so he can make other towers.
That's
also,
good.
He has 8 fish right now.
Huge.
And the resources are looking pretty good for him. So really, really solid play there from Leary. Also still has the archers forward, which might force some more archers to come back for Hera.
Yep. And Hera, 20 on food, but only 200 food in the bank. 500 food for Leary. So Leary said, I'm not going to evacuate. I'm just going to stay here. And Hera may be a little curious, like, where are you taking resources right now? There's not a lot left over here.
Fortunately for Leary, his new lumber cans only cost 50 wood, right? He's going to need some.
Yeah. He'll lose a Vill, but he completes another tower. And Hera, maybe we'll look around for Docvilles or something now. He's actually missing the next Doc. If he kept going, that would have been 2 Vil kills for Hera.
Do you wait? You don't wait for Castle Age to eject these archers if you're Leary, right?
I mean, I would have moved them out already, and okay, here he goes.
It's 7. 7 archers on a hill.
Yeah.
Near Hera's gold. And Hera doesn't see this coming in. Leary finds himself a villager kill.
And Hera's off gold again. Hera's off gold again. Hera off of some of those farms. Does have a lot of army around. Hera will find 2 more Vils. Himself. At least 1.
Maybe not the second one. Maybe not the second one. Leary pulls that guy away. Scout's still getting value. Castle Age somehow on the way for Hera now.
Farms. Look at the farms. He's got 14 farms, and he took the deer and he took the berries. So you give up the fish, but you farm and you take that. And Leary fishes, but gives up essentially everything else. And what Leary doesn't know right now, Dave, and I'm concerned, he doesn't know about the outposts on the outside. He's not expecting Hera to see his every move out there. And so, like, Hera's just waiting to see something. And the second Hera sees something, he's going to make a beeline for that area. And Leary doesn't have army. He's going to aim to make some knights. But he's got nothing to protect that. If he towers that, it's fine. Otherwise, I think we'll see Hera there in a minute.
He's kind of moving around with his archers still. And they're going to be crossbows soonish. A little bit faster than Hera's. Hera's trying to pincer this military. So Hera's military not on the outside currently.
Yeah.
Not much of a threat. The tower goes up on the outside from Leary.
That's good.
Which should protect those, at least initially. And Leary's just still hanging out near this forward range.
Look at those fishing ships, man. That's so efficient for him. 11 fish. What a game from Leary. He goes for +2 armor.
+2.
He doesn't even go for the archers. He goes for +2 for his knights. And there's a lot of searching Hera has to do right now, but if Hera searches the wrong way, those archers could be out of position.
Now he knows.
Yeah.
Now he knows he lost them, and he doesn't want to get too close to the water. You never know if there's like a sneaky demo that's going to show up or something. Once you have crossbow, you're pretty confident you can snipe it down, but...
I mean...
Fortified church.
Leary's sneaking along the outside still. He might not be spotted for a little while. But you have Bodkin arrow, crossbowman from Hera. He's got a good archer count. He's got the outside, so he has evacuated. And Hera's maybe slightly behind, but I think his army is more scalable long-term than knights are for the Japanese.
I think, honestly, I think Leary should have hid these archers a little bit longer.
Yeah, wait until you know where that
Hera
army is.
Well, also so that Hera knows, or doesn't know rather, that he hasn't gotten crossbow.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, he tried to hit in 2 spots at once there. Knights ended up getting hit. Archers end up getting hit. That's really good for Hera. And that +2 armor, it's good.
Yeah,
but that's not good against that many
though.
crossbows. He's really forcing it here right now. You wonder with the scoreline how much of this is Leary just being like trying to force +2 here and not try and move to the outside and not add TCs. It just feels
he
as though...
can be confident because he has the Japanese fish. You've got 13 Japanese fish, so he's still feeling pretty good about himself. But the siege works up tonight at 99.61%.
He needed it. He needed that so bad. That's 200 wood down the drain. That's momentum gone. He needs the siege. There's still no towers on the front. Again, he never really expanded to the outside. And Hera, 2 town centers, super consistent. Monks on the way to get the relics. This is going to be so tough for Leary now. Leary's running out of wood, dude. He needed to evacuate.
Well, he's got the TC in the south. Leary will be pressured there by Hera. Now Leary goes in with the knights, and that should be the response. That's pretty standard, right? To go in with the knights, because you can't take out the crossbows. You're going to try and raid. Unfortunately for him, he's up against Armenians. They have fortified church. They can hide their vills in there. That also provides them with some monks that can come out and convert these. And Hera's still got the crossbows with ballistics at home.
I mean, Hera's defending enough. Leary's got nothing. If I were in Leary's position, I might be considering typing the words right now. This is painful. It was a good start. Hera, again, is just held on. And Leary, okay, finds an engagement with the knights on the crossbowman. Hera completely out of position there.
Yeah.
I think Hera tried to click beyond and expected them to go the other way.
When did the Knights come back out to the other side? Like, Leary hasn't investigated that at all. Okay, here they come. Finally.
But look at his wood, like his resource income's crazy.
Oh, he can see that TC being built.
Okay.
He's going for it.
I think Hera should be able to wall that. I wasn't expecting those walls.
Nope. Nope.
Oh,
nope.
God.
He's trying to save the Bills, but the Knights are here. Finally a moment here for Leary.
And of course, like, the TC was going to complete anyways, which is kind of funny. Leary did complete the Siege Workshop. He is massing the mangonels to eventually make a push, but he really needs to kill these crossbows now. Like, Hera has been in such a pain with these crossbows. Let's see how the Knights can path. He gets around them. He gets the hill. Actually, I think Hera's on the hill for the most part. Hera, I think, is going to be very happy with that engagement. The Knights are bumping a bit, and the Knights are really expensive compared to a crossbowman.
I think Leary will clear that up, but it costs him so much. It costs him so much. Even with 12 Japanese fish, like, the fish are getting further and further away from the docks now. Your farm eco is not the same as Hera's, right? So it's tough to sustain. And Hera, great micro. Takes out all the Knights.
Really clean. Really clean micro. 3 TCs. I mean, this is what you want. Transition towards the late game, which we haven't really had a lot of time to talk about. But eventually, I think Armenians, Japanese, somewhat close in the late game. But Leary needs the siege to make some type of a showing here. He's waiting for it. I think he's waiting for the Knights, and he might push the monastery.
How many mangonels? It kind of seems like a 5 mangonel push is necessary for this. Something ridiculous.
Dude, he
right?
has no wood. I actually want to check, like, the wood count. Hera's collected 1,300 more wood. Like, he's just placed so many lumber camps in the middle and was so late to the outside. There are some vills out there, obviously. But Hera can just click. He could go for redemption here to convert the siege. And so sees it, immediately goes for redemption. Will aim to convert a knight, but he can garrison inside the church now too. And did he convert that knight?
Oh, man.
Disaster for the push. The push will die. And Leary, again, just leaving Hera's base without any damage done. And Hera's even on the outside with the crossbows as well. Just, again, right there, it's a frustrating situation. You're down 0-3. You're doing something you wouldn't normally do. I think he should have known a bit better about moving forward with the siege, but he knows he's dead, I think, and wants to fight. Does Hera know he's won this game right now? Does he feel he's won this game?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you're ahead on score right now and you know your opponent has full water control.
Yeah.
And you saw the amount of fish
true.
he was making earlier.
Yep.
Like, you have to be so confident.
Yep. 4 relics. 4 TCs. Hera on the way to Imp. And Leary will build up everything he can to stop these crossbowmen that he does not see coming in to his wood line. Hera, I think, wanted to be sneaky there. I'm not sure if he knew the Knights were on the prowl for him. But you could stack them. You could wedge them in there to get as much value as possible. Hello?
No attack stance on the crossbows? Hello?
So he could stack them.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you could stack them with no attack stance. Or maybe it's stand ground. I'm not sure. That's going to be a clean up there. But on the front,
stack them with aggressive too.
You can do them in any ways on one tile. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there were also some kills on the front from Hera there. So he ends up getting 11 eco kills at the same time. And Leary's Knights now have to head out across the map, and Hera's ready. Outpost coming up. Castle's coming up. At least one castle's coming up, and again, I remember these two played, and it was an 18.5-minute GG from Leary in another, 4-0 final between the two. And I was disappointed that Leary didn't fight in that game.
He's fighting now.
And he's fighting he's fighting now. But I just would be completely understandable. Big hit. Would be completely understandable if he sees Imp and feels like he doesn't have a way back in this one. Hera, good micro, takes out the mangonel. And 30 seconds away from Imperial Age with a 30 eco lead.
Hera's averaging 125 EAPM right now in this game so far. I think he had 145 on the last set I cast with him on one game. It is insane, dude. The guy is just, hands are flying.
And the decision making, the opening is amazing. I feel for Leary. I felt for everyone who got swept yesterday in the semifinals as well, but Hera does it again. 4-0 victory. And there were some out-of-the-box strategies. Not necessarily this game, but the cross game, that might have been one that kind of mentally broke Leary a little bit. We had the
Turks.
The Turks pick was really nice. Things to ask him about in the interview. But the question coming into this tournament was, can anyone beat Hera? The question after this tournament is no.
Will anyone beat Hera?
No. There's your answer. Yeah, it's really clean, dude. Really clean. I think Leary probably wouldn't have gone forward range if he wasn't down 3 games. I think maybe even some things in game number 3 would have gone a bit differently, but Hera just one step up. Leary felt it. And we weren't able to see the Leary that swept in the semifinals, the Leary conversations we usually have. We didn't have today. Didn't get to think about it at all. Was not in a single game, really.
It's incredible to me that Hera can play so comfortably against a player like Leary. There's just something mentally there for both players. The history you talked about with the sets, and he's so confident, and Leary feels like he's chasing the entire game, the entire set.
And I think I thought there was going to be, like, I thought Hera was going to win today. I thought there was going to be a game or two where Leary second-guessed himself, or the draft was going to be odd and he wasn't able to draft towards his own ability. It wasn't really the case, honestly. It wasn't really the case. When someone wins 4-0, maybe they're just better, right? I don't know how much... Like, the preparation from Hera was top tier. I really like the creativity of some of the things he did in the semifinals and the finals, but he won 4-0 in his semi, won 4-0 in the finals, and wins another championship, dude. So we'll get Hera in here in a moment. Same deal as before, Dave. We could just hop right into the interview. All right. Here we are with the winner, Hera. Hera, familiar feeling, my friend. 4-0 against Leary in the finals. How you feeling?
Hello, my friend. I'm feeling good. How are you?
Is it weird to like finish an intense game like that and then have to come in and talk in an interview? Like, do you feel like you need like 5 minutes to simmer down at all? Or are you used to it?
No, it's okay. I'm not going anywhere. I'm chilling.
Got it.
It's all good. I like to talk. Why not?
Okay, cool. Well, we'll hop right into it, man. I mean, before the set, a lot of people like to remember the sets you and Leary have had because you've had so many now. But I'm curious on your confidence because I looked at Liquipedia and I could not believe just how many wins in a row you've had against him in sets. It's like 15 or 16 sets in a row. So do you feel that? Do you still feel, you're on your toes a little bit that it could go to the 7th game? Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm always I'm always preparing for Leary. I mean, I consider Leary to be the second best player in the world, and basically the guy who's my hardest opponent, pretty much regardless of the settings as well. But I think what gives me the edge is that I usually only face him in the finals, and when I face him in the finals, if I feel like it's really comfortable for me, where I can just put all my strategies on the table, and I don't have to think about like saving anything or not using anything because the tournament's over.
Okay, makes sense.
You find, Hera, I noticed in your gameplay against Sebastian and also your games here against Leary, it's a little thing, but your EAPM starts like ticking upwards. Against the high speed players, are you consciously like going faster, or is that just something that happens because they're paying attention on all the different angles?
Yeah, I think it's I mean, it might be because of the faster players, but it's usually because it's a faster game, and I guess the faster players like to play like the more intense games. But if you look at these games, we're like fighting in 4 different spots at once. It might even be hard, for you as a caster, you guys as casters, to keep up with what's going on. And as players, it's extremely, extremely difficult. So I think my APM spiking just because of how much there's going on everywhere.
Does that contribute to like feeling exhausted after the games, or is it more, you're just fully warmed up?
I don't really get tired when I play fast, to be honest. I don't really feel the difference if I have like a booming game or not, or an intense game. But I guess the more of these we have, the more tiring it gets over the series.
Well, we might need to start hosting best of 15s so we can get 7 or 8 games with you.
I told you guys to host best of 9 finals. I'm
Bro,
always
it's
minimum best of 9, minimum.
I mean, my feeling,
games.
my stance has always been beyond a best of 7. I think it becomes a little bit of a stamina game, and I think certain players can benefit more than that. In your case, Hera, it seems like you can play all day; it's not a problem. I think best of 7 is great to determine.
Every player has stamina. I mean, like that's not making the grand finals. He might struggle, but until maybe he'll get to the grand finals of the Gold League. Shout out to Dot for next season, wishing him the best there. But I mean, everyone can play best of 9. Like seriously, everyone should be able to. And if Doubt gets there, I'll get him into shape physically as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you and Doubt have a lot in common. You're both young.
Exactly at our primes.
Yeah, you guys are basically the same, so that makes sense. So to the draft here, Hera, you had a couple wild cards today. You started it off with a big one with Turks on Shoals. Was that always your plan, or did you miss something on the draft and you felt you had to prioritize Shoals late?
No, I prepared that. I played one game versus Nikov earlier, and I wanted to play Turks there. It's quite good. You have 17 range elite cannon galleons, so the threat of winning water is huge. What I noticed is that when I won water with Armenians, my drones hit nothing. Like I'm just hitting the ground, under his feet. I can't reach the castles because everyone's making them on the other side. So I felt like with Turks 17 range cannon galleons, that could reach. So Turks have a really nice game plan there of winning the water and going cannon galleons, and that threat alone, in my opinion, is good enough to make them win late game all the time. And then it's just a matter of stabilizing land, and I think they do quite well against Dravidians.
Okay, interesting. And one more question on that: you eventually got pushed with the mangonels and the pikes, right? And what you didn't know is that Leary actually built a siege workshop there. I think, assuming you had the TC there. So were you conscious of that your timings with the gold here? Were you expecting a bit more of a push on your TCs? Just talk me through that late castle age, because you boomed it home and you didn't take the gold until later.
Yeah, so in the one practice game I did versus Nikov, I went to the gold right away with my third TC, which you make initially, like right away, and I went to the gold. So I committed to one of the side golds right away, and I got punished in the practice game.
Yeah.
He was able to push me from there. So this time what I did, the adaptation was I just boomed 3 TC at home and waited before taking the gold. So he can't know which gold I'm taking, so I don't want to get pushed too early. So that was a complete consequence of just playing that one practice game.
Okay, makes sense.
Game number 2 was very interesting, Hera, and it's, a lot of times we see the forward dock strategy on 4 lakes or cross or whatever we're calling it for this particular tournament, but you went with your first dock. Is that a practice strategy, or was that in response to your map and the Civ matchup?
No, that was to counter him from coming to dock my lake. Like I know he's playing Byzantine, he wants to dock my lake, but what if I just don't have a lake? What if my lake is his lake? So I think it's just like a nice counter to what the meta is. So this would be like a anti-meta approach, and I think it worked absolutely perfectly. That may be one of my favorite games I've ever played in a tournament. Like that was so much fun. I was so happy it worked.
I think at the end of the day, the KD there was like 17-3, and you were contesting Byzantines with feudal fires. That was insane, man. Like just the results of that sneak were crazy, and it paid off just as you planned it. It looked like.
Yeah, it felt great. It felt great. I was just in control at all points of the game. It was a bit fortunate though. I felt like I looked in the right places at the right time, and that just kind of helped out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I in that moment felt if Leary was strong on his mentals going into game 2, that his mentals would maybe be a little bit shaky going in game 3. And so you played relatively defensive in Feudal Age game 3. Was that intentional, so you didn't give Leary a certain type of game? Was that because you were really confident that you could do it because you thought Leary would maybe overinvest because he was down? Explain archers and chill and feudal into the all-in castle age.
I don't think it was about anything other than the map. I like on Kilimanjaro, I think it's really hard to attack your opponent because you're so far away and there's hills in the middle.
Yeah.
So I just like to go for castle age as fast as possible. He tried the scouts aggression, but I mean, you can see what his scouts did. They basically did nothing until the skirms came. And even then, it's mainly the skirms that were hard to deal with. The scouts just can't get value on that map. So I just played towards archers because that's the only thing that can actually do anything on that map. And I think it worked out.
Were you scared when his castle came up? Obviously, you had the right reaction because he castles you. You've just got to send it towards him. But was that a timing you were hoping to beat him to? Were you hoping to have a castle next to your TC?
I wanted to get a castle, but since I didn't have a market, I couldn't buy it. When he beat me to the castle, I actually thought, okay, I can castle, but that's a way to flip the game, and I was winning, so I don't want to coin flip.
Okay.
So I went to go castle his base, and that was the right call.
Yeah, makes sense.
Did you have a mini heart attack when you saw you had a Mangonel at home?
Yes. I was like, oh
just
man.
got in, dude.
If that was walled, I think the game is really hard. Like I wouldn't lose on the spot. I would try to fight a bit more, but that was really scary.
If that castle
luckily it
doesn't
was
go up,
open.
he pushes your MTC as well. I don't know if you knew this, but your TC was like, I think you realized later, but it was the one that was right beneath the hill if he advanced forward.
Yeah, I know. I realized of all the things to click on a cracked terrain hill map, the front TC, fantastic.
Yeah. All right, and then evac. I talked immediately about how in the past I remembered you went galleys and archer opening and kind of wall to the side. Here you opened scouts and didn't prioritize water. So, thoughts?
Here went meta arms, so I didn't want to play water. It was my plan to make 2 galleys, so I had to adapt to the meta arms. But if you notice, the theme of my gameplay was just anti-meta the entire time, just to play something unpredictable. Because if I played what's predictable, I would get countered by a strong player like Leary. So what I did was I just sent the Vil on the outside for outpost. I want to tower his wood. He wasn't there. So I just tried to adapt from there with some tower defense and some vision control instead of walling. And I don't think it was the craziest opening ever, but I just think playing weird is really good in the finals because you don't get counted out of the opening, which is really important to me.
Well, I mean, every time I watched Leary play and anyone tries to match him, he just looks so comfortable, right? And you didn't put him into a single position where that was the case today. So, yeah, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Whenever I watch someone play against you, and the same thing happened with Viper back in the day, right? Like people would give his units, it feels like more respect. If you know what I'm talking about. Like if he had 2 archers, they wouldn't dive against those 2 because they think he could micro his way out of it. And I see the same thing happening with you. Is that something you kind of take advantage of as the top dog right now? Like, are you consciously like knowing that someone's not going to push you in a situation where, you know, maybe they should?
I think over the years I get like people give less respect nowadays, I feel overall, but I probably get a little bit from my opponents. It's something I take advantage of in the sense that I try to make the game as messy as possible so that we're both out of our preparation, out of our comfort zone, and then I just try to beat them by them second guessing their decisions. One thing that really helped me going into sets as the favorite is that I'm very confident in what I want to do and what like the right move is. I'm very quick at thinking on my feet and very confident in my decisions. And when I get into that flow, if they start hesitating and I'm not hesitating, the game would just completely collapse for them on all fronts.
So you're saying that like you don't want to match up against Licks.
Well, like I guess him he would
like that, right?
He would flip the script on me exactly if that was the case.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. Well, I mean, Hera, I've got really nothing more to say, but just congratulations because it was so smooth. I agree. The second game was really satisfying, right? Like to come out with that. We've seen 1,000,001 cross games. We've seen a lot of these civs match up against each other, and we had never seen that. Was creative. So to dominate when the scene's so competitive and it was such a crazy season, like great names are getting relegated. We got people not making playoffs or out in the round of 12s. To have you still be so consistent is amazing. So congratulations again, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And I don't know.
That's win. What win is that now? Is that like win number 11?
I think 10.
I think 10. Okay.
He doesn't know. He has to double check.
No.
He's got to double check to see how many it is. He's not sure.
It's 10. It's 10.
I mean, I'd be
Maybe
counting.
I lost count somewhere.
Yeah, I'd be counting. Well, yeah, well done, Hera. I also appreciate the respect towards Leary. I'll just kind of say this isn't really an interview, but Leary's incredible. Clearly number 2, like just an amazing player. So Leary, if you end up catching this, I hope you're not too bummed that you ran into Hera again today. It felt like you had a good game plan for him, Hera.
Yeah, I just want to add a little bit onto that as well. Like as I was waiting for the interview, I saw a lot of people in the chat saying like, okay, Leary's not the real number 2. It should have been Sebastian. He gave me a harder fight and whatnot. I just want to say it's a little bit of a bad comparison. And no disrespect to Sebastian, I have Sebastian in like top 5 as well. Like I have him really high up. But for me, Leary's the second best. It's just that it's unfortunate because when I face in the finals, I'm not hiding anything. I'm analyzing all of his games. I'm bringing the best to the table. And if I have a good day, it's just a few things that go wrong that make the games, losable. So I have, a very high respect for Leary. In my opinion, he's a really, really strong player, and I think the chat should also give him that respect that he deserves, and not look too much at the result because again, it's sometimes it's snowballing like that.
But it's also fair to say that the test that Sebastian gave you helped mold you into some of the adaptations. Is that correct? Like
exactly.
Shoals, for
example,
example. Like Harry, you just won 4-0, so don't have this come off the wrong way, but highly questionable at times the way you prioritize gold on Shoals in the quarterfinal. And then like in the semis, and then you said you played practice games, you learned a couple more things, and then in the finals it was just like super smooth. So I think that's part of it too.
Yeah, exactly. I learn as the tournament goes on. Sebastian like gives me like a lot of things to think about for future sets, like that I survived that. It was really helpful. And also for the finals, I'm practicing all the maps. It's not worth it to practice beforehand because if I practice beforehand, I show strategy in the quarterfinals. They know about it in the finals, so there's no point. It's just a waste of time.
Sure.
So that's why I always bring the best in the finals. And I just want to say, like, big respect to Leary, and also now that we mentioned Sebastian, big respect to him as well. I think he's gonna be very tough in the next few months.
Yep, should be exciting. I mean, lots of players got results this season that were maybe unexpected, especially some younger talents. We also have some people moving up to platinum for the next season. So hopefully more exciting storylines. But again, Hera, congratulations. Amazing dominance today. You deserve it, dude.
Thank you very much. Just last thing from me. Thank you to all the people who support me, all the fans that are cheering for me in the tournaments and who enjoy my games. I really appreciate you guys. And I'm very happy that you guys are cheering for me. And to all the viewers, those who cheer for me and those who don't, I really appreciate you guys watching and tuning into these tournaments because it really makes AV2, competitive AV2 continue to grow. So I appreciate you all, and thank you, T90 and Dave, for hosting and casting. Take care, guys. Have a good rest of your evening.
See ya.
See ya, bro.
Bye
bye.
Yeah, Dave, we said it all. He's insane.
He's crazy good. I think he's the GOAT. I don't want to start this conversation right now, but I think I don't really see, and I was there throughout Viper's dominance. I think that argument is fading. I think it's really fading when you look at the numbers. And it's crazy to me because for years I said Hera's going to need another 5 years of winning everything for him to be the GOAT. But
there's so many tournaments and it's been such a streak, right? I think that's maybe a podcast conversation, right?
Yeah. Let's talk about this some other time.
It might be like an MJ versus LeBron or like Messi, Ronaldo. Yeah, I don't know.
It definitely is.
It's a deep conversation, but like this level of regardless how you look at it, the level of dominance is unprecedented. No one has ever won 10 S tiers in a row, and we've got S tiers around every corner. So with S tiers around every corner, I think there's going to be a lot of Hera number ones continuing because it feels like there's no. I mean, it's not getting closer right now, right? It's not.
Yeah.
I think the biggest threat to Hera is early stage tournaments, right? And it always with anybody. It was the case with Viper in the past. Early stage, you get him then. That's where maybe he, isn't quite as ready. But yeah, he's going to show up on the day and he's going to deliver. So it's amazing. Mm-hmm. I mean, literally the worst possible scenario for the end of this tournament, 4-0, 4-0 semifinals, and 4-0 final. I guess the third place match was 3-2. We'll take that. But yeah, I mean, he was incredibly dominant, and you want to see prepared players. You want to see the best compete, and you want to see preparation work out, which it did today. So,
more power to him. That's the entire idea behind Titans League, right? Like, you've set this tournament up so that you have a whole league format, you have relegation, you have advancement, you have players that can learn strategies on relatively standard maps throughout the entire tournament, and you don't have a ton of bans mixed in, right? There's no random bans, so it's all preparation. I know you love that so much in your tournaments, and it's not really just about the finals. It's about the journey to get there.
Yeah.
You know, if we're going to be philosophizers in here, we took a long journey with Titans League, and especially you. And I think it was a really well done tournament. And shout out to all the players, especially Hera for winning there, Leary, of course, Sebastian, Dark with an crazy run, Nikov as well. Just really, really solid tournament and great effort put in by everybody involved.
Thank you, dude. You played a part in that. Thanks for covering so many games. It's been a long one, people. Long season of silver, gold, platinum. We have big names relegated. We had big names win. It was fun season. Obviously, a lot went into it, and wouldn't have had it any other way but have you here for the finals, bro. So thanks for everything, man.
Well, go get to planning your let's see. Marathon, low elo legends, Forest Nothing, 24-hour stream, roller coaster time. You got a busy time in front of you, dude. I'll see you in Germany.
I think I'm just going to do it all in the 24 hours. Is that cheating? Is that cheating?
I didn't think about that. That's amazing. Yeah.
I could actually just do all of that in one stream. That might be the play.
Yeah.
Nah, that's probably cheating. Yeah, dude, I'll see you in a week. Thanks.
Right.
Thanks. Take care.
Peace.
Chat. I thought I was going to get away with no 24-hour with the 4-0. I mean, that was the silver lining for me. Was, hey, we can get out of here before we hit the 10K goal. Apparently not. Thank you, everybody. We missed a lot of people here. Again, kind of said everything that I could have said directed towards Hera and the win. It was an amazing season from him. I could not keep up with everybody that gifted subs. Star Wars and Star Wars and more Star Wars. Krytos and Supplies and Draco and Stahelm and Tremendo. Thank you. You guys are ridiculous. I thought these goals were super ambitious. I thought maybe we'd hit like 7 or 8K. But I'm nervous and excited for some of these things. Now, one of these goals I've been saying all week or all month and a half, 2 months, I don't know. We will get to. But before we do, I just want to like kind of close out TTL as a whole and just say thank you before we have our fun, okay? Because the embarrassing video will kind of tail off the stream. So if you want to see the embarrassing video, you'll just have to stick around. But I want to talk about TTL. So like, obviously it ended on platinum and it was absolutely fantastic. We had a great finish. We had our upsets along the way in playoffs. But TTL is designed as a tournament to raise the whole scene, right? There are lots of players who have incredible talent who in a standard knockout bracket meet a big name. Just think anyone who matches up against Hera or Leary, right? Well, potentially could be like 2nd seed versus 65th seed, right? 65th in the world, boom. They train, they die horribly, and you know what they do is they feel like they're not good, and they stop playing, and they feel like there's not opportunity for them, and they move on. The reason I started TTL years ago was because of talking to really talented players who were just getting discouraged, essentially. So I am really proud of what we've been able to do this season because thanks to Microsoft and thanks to the team, we've been able to work out increased prize pools for those in the lower leagues. So with that, gold was incredibly competitive. We'll have big names rising up. I maybe shouldn't show this, whatever. And so I'm just like kind of proud of the whole format, man. I'm really proud of it because I've seen the scene rise in skill, and I've also received dozens and dozens of messages from these players who not necessarily fall into the plat category, but maybe gold and silver. And I wouldn't be motivated to keep pushing and doing events that are this long, which require more streaming than I've ever done in my life, if it wasn't for the players caring and seeing the value, and then also like an audience like this. So, I mean, guys, we had like the last 30 days, 900,000. Chat, shut up right now about Masters of Hyper Random. I'll shout out Masters of Hyper Random. I'm doing my end of event spiel. Is this of no value to you? 4 months of an event, and I've got a lot to say, and you're just spamming something Dave said. Come on. Okay. Sorry. Reset. Shit, where was I? I don't know where I was, but I'm really proud. And for the players, like, anytime, like, the first 3 seasons were supposed to be set up for beyond that. It was a test. I was streaming on Facebook. I wanted to do something for the community, and I went for it. And I said at the end of season 3 that was the building block towards something more, and I meant those words. And we got double the prize pool for this season. I felt like we improved on a lot of the weaknesses that we had in the prior seasons. And I would like, I can't promise, but I would like for this to be even bigger as well going forward. So that's my promise for the players and to the community. I do what I can to raise the bar higher each and every time. And I would love for it to go much further than it is. That's not going to be easy, but I can already tell you like 5 or 6 things that I would do differently the next season if I had it my way that I think we can do. Okay? Now, Microsoft confirmed with me, I announced this before, at least another 2 seasons of Titans League. Now, that basically just means that they've committed to, cutting the checks to keep this going for another 2 seasons. So if you didn't know about that, that's happening at the very least. The exact timeline on that is not quite public yet because the tournament calendar is crazy, but I could tell you there will be a season number 5 and season number 6. Most likely that season number 2 date will be announced soon, or season number, 5 will be announced soon. Okay. And that'll be coming up at the end of this year, most likely. Okay. To everyone who's showed up every single day to watch this live, to everyone who's watched the Extras channel, it's been unreal. So many people watching. I did 0 promotion for this tournament. 0. I casted the tournament. I maybe posted a couple times on socials, but unlike other events, I didn't record YouTube videos and try and bring in like as many casuals as possible. I just kind of said, let's just send it, and then I can see what works, what doesn't work, what the viewership's like, what the support's like, and then I can build from there. Amazing. Thank you. To not like, oh shoot, I forgot something. Oh, it's behind me. Hold on one second. Okay. So, Twitch sent me something for the first time in my whole career. The funny thing is, this was in my dashboard, and I had to redeem it for the last 2.5 years, and I had no clue. But I got it anyways. And let me get it out of this box. Oh, I guess there's a message. It says, congratulations on 5 million hours watched. And then it says it's a copy pasta about how they love the community, which I'm too lazy to read. But 5 million hours watched, guys. And that is because of events like Titans League. Now, according to the data, we are now at 20 million hours watched. So I'm going to pretend this is 20 million down here and that I didn't know that this was sitting in my Twitch dashboard for 2.5 years. But thank you, guys. It's something physical, which is kind of nice in a non-physical world that I can put behind me, and that's a crazy amount of support. All right, was it sitting there while you were on Facebook? Probably. I had to redeem it, and I had no clue. But we're gonna pretend like we earned this today. All right, and not years ago. We only need 30 million more until we get another one. So maybe in a couple more seasons or something. But that's especially nice because I got it right around my 10-year channel anniversary. That's when it came in the mail. So it came in the mail somewhat recently. My 10-year channel anniversary was in January. All right. That's it. That's all I have to say. I could say a lot more. I'm usually more wordy than this somehow, but that's it, guys. Just thank you to anyone who watched and supported TTL. You guys are beasts. Thank you so much. The support's way too much, and I grind my ass off because I know I have a community that supports it. Okay.